Welcome to David Nissi, always no explanation podcast number 5.
Yes.
5, cinco. And today's a special one because we're going to talk about something that I know a little bit more about than you usually were even. And this one's going to be on MMA, UFC 279. All our podcasts you can listen back, and you can listen to it a year from now, 10 years from now, and it'll still last the test of time. Today will be temporary because there's an event happening this Saturday in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. I'm getting hyped up a little bit. This Saturday, and she knows, but she really doesn't care because she doesn't really care about MMA like I do. It's when you know someone on a personal level, you spent time with them, you broke bread with them, then it becomes a little bit more personable. So when I know someone that's fighting, or even if someone's in the NFL, I'm like, I can call you on the phone. I want that player to win his team. I don't care about football, but I want him to win. Right?
So you don't care about UFC?
No, I don't. I care about people that I know that
So
fight.
you don't care about UFC, you just care about the people you know?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, personally.
So who do you know in UFC?
So this Saturday, Nate Diaz is taking on Khazmat Chimaev, who is...
Khazmat Chimaev?
He's Chechen, Russian, out of Sweden. They signed Nate up to get killed. I don't think that's going to happen. But when you spend time with someone and know their psyche, I mean, Nate was the first one. I've told you this before. Take me on a 10-mile run, and I complained. I was like, I can't run 10 miles. He didn't say we were running 10 miles.
But they're all professional fighters, so I feel like they're all going to have a good workout, a good mindset, because that's what they're training since they're little.
Well, I'm saying he helped instill in me, him and his brother Nick helped instill in me different elements of training, how I look at life even. Right? I use a quote that Nick told me. He said, you do things that you got to do to get to where you need to be. I'm like, okay, I'm going to steal that quote because it's so true in life. I do things that I have to do to get to where I need to be. And so this Saturday, it's supposedly Nate's last fight on his UFC contract.
How old is Nate?
I believe he's 37.
And it's his last fight. How many fights has he done?
He's had about 30 fights.
And how many has he lost?
He's lost. I'll tell you his record right now. But this guy he's fighting has never lost. And most of his finishes...
But how many fights has this guy had?
12.
See, so 12 and 30 is a big difference.
So Nate's had 33 fights. This is going to be number 34. But the other guy's in his prime. So...
But how many has Nate lost?
15, 6...
Dang.
13.
So he's lost less than half.
Right. But still, this guy's never lost. So
But this guy only has 12. That's not even half of what Nate has.
Right. But then again, you look at the age too, right? So
how old is this guy?
Chimaev is 28. So he's...
I mean, that's not that
almost
much.
10 years. Well, I mean, that's in their prime, right? That's a prime age. So my question to you is, and for me, I'm going to always be a little bit biased. I want...
So who do you think's going to win the fight?
I don't know who's going to win.
Who do you think? If someone said you have to put $1 million in
I'm going to show you, and this is how she's basing who's going to win off pictures. She knows nothing about how they fight, their styles.
How else would you base it? Like, I'm going to look at these two pictures and I'm going to tell you who's going to win.
I'll
put my money in it.
This picture's going to go up on the screen. It's going to be the same picture you see. So
wait, did you get a good picture of both of them? Because I want it to be fair.
Chimaev on the left and Nate on the right.
Okay, Nate looks sad, first of all. Like, he looks skinny, and I know you tell me that skinny's good in fighting.
Well, right, because you don't want to be too muscular because then it takes more oxygen.
But Nate looks scared. He already looks scared.
He's not facing...
This guy looks confident. This guy looks like, I'm about to handle Nate this weekend. Like, this guy looks like he's ready to conquer the world.
Young lion.
I'm feeling the energy. With Nate, he's like, oh, I'm scared. I'm old. I'm gonna try and fight, but I don't know. So if I had to put my money, based off these pictures, Mashkashka, what's his name?
Chimaev,
100% is gonna win. How many rounds do they go in UFC?
5 rounds, 5 minutes each.
Chimaev is gonna beat him by the second round.
Oh, you think he's gonna finish him?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And that's like 99% of the fans out there, which is crazy. Like, you just took the fan favorite, right?
Well, I don't know. I could just look at these pictures. I don't know if you gave me a bad picture of Nick or Nate.
Nate.
But he does not look ready for a fight.
The bottom left.
This one? Oh, your computer's not a touch screen.
There he goes. There's another one.
I still like this guy because even when this guy smiles, he looks creepy. He looks like I'm a killer.
He says he's a killer. He says
yes, and Nate just looks like I'm from like Stockton, or like
Stockton,
like from the streets, and like the world did me so hard. But this guy just looks like I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna conquer you. Hands down, this guy's gonna win. Nate doesn't have a chance. Nate shouldn't even be entering the ring.
That's what many people are saying. I mean, that's what.
Oh yeah, this guy's.
That's what some of the media are saying. That's what fans are saying. The thing is,
I'm putting $1 million in his tub.
Well, you wouldn't win much money because he's a huge favorite. He's like almost a 12 to. No, he's more than that.
And you're going to be rooting for Nate.
So you would have to put down $1,800 to win $100 if you went on Chimaev.
There has to be someone out there rooting for Nate.
Oh, there's a lot. Nate has a big fan base. A lot of people will be rooting for him, but the casual MMA fans and those that just think that because Chimaev's on this tear, undefeated, he's just going to run through Nate. But Nate's boxed with Andre Ward, who's one of the greatest pound-for-pound boxers of this era. He just retired. He was a sparring partner of him.
I'm the kind of person who just feels like monster beats skill. And I know that's like, that could be wrong, but like even with my sisters, when they say like, I'm going to beat you because I've done boxing, because I've done this, because I weightlift, I'm like, I have adrenaline, I have crazy. And that guy gives me adrenaline, crazy. And if he has any bit of skill, even if he has half of the skill that Nate has, I feel like he'll still beat Nate because he just looks monster. Who can beat monster?
What happens when he runs out of gas though? If Nate could bring him into deep waters, what happens then? He starts to get tired.
He's not going to run out of gas. He's monster. The 36-year-old is going to be the one running out of gas.
No, Nate's the triathlete.
Yeah, but Nate's not going to be able to keep up with monster. Trust me.
Oh, trust you?
Trust me. You may be the MMA expert, but I have eyes and I can see the situation clearly.
Chimaev was getting tired in a 3-round fight. He's never gone 5 rounds.
Okay, but you said he's won 12 fights.
Right. Yeah,
so
he's 12-0.
Why does he not go 5 rounds? Because he's beating them before the 5th round.
Exactly.
That's exactly what's going to happen to Nate. He's going to beat him before the 5th round.
Could potentially happen.
That will happen.
Okay.
But what if he accidentally kills Nate? Would that be sad?
That's why there's a referee there.
I know, but people still die.
People do die, but he's a trained martial artist. He's been around enough times. He's sparred, fought with world champions.
But he's old.
Here's the thing with Nate is there's old, but then there's miles to the tank. And Nate doesn't have as many miles to the tank as someone that's 37 that had 50 fights because he'll go a couple years without fighting. So that's giving him time, his body time to rest. I mean, he gets cut up a lot. So he has had surgery to make sure.
I think, though, that when you take time to rest and step away from the game, like you may think, oh, I'm getting better, I'm training, but like you're out of the game. And so when you come back in it and someone hits you, you're going to be like, dang, like, because you haven't felt that in a minute. So I don't think necessarily stepping away is a good thing. Like, this guy's probably been fighting. He's in his prime, like you said, and he's going to go and be ready to conquer. Nate's going to get one hit and be like, whoa, okay, what's going on here? You know? So I don't know that stepping away and training is the best thing.
You know what's crazy is she's not in MMA. She doesn't watch the fight. She walks out. But what she's saying is what the experts say as well. Cage rust or ring rust. It's interesting, like you understand this, that some fighters that step away and don't fight for a while, they're rusty coming back. And that's what you're saying are all valid reasons. So it's interesting that I was just going to say, you've never watched a full MMA fight in your life.
I haven't.
And here you are.
Sometimes I like watching the highlights where they knock each other out, but then I feel like I need to repent after. So that's cool.
Why do you got to repent?
Because it's so violent. I don't know.
Are you going to watch the fight Saturday?
Like on TV?
Yes.
I just want to see the part where Nate gets knocked out.
Why do you want to see him get knocked out?
Because I know he's going to lose, so I don't want to see the whole fight. Or maybe I will, because I feel like it's going to be a quick fight. Maybe I will. We'll see.
I'm going to watch the fight live.
Yeah?
Yes.
Wait, you're going to go in person?
Either we're going
or like on TV
in person
live.
Or watching it live somewhere.
I wouldn't want to go in person because I feel like there's a lot of angry people there. Like a lot of Karens on steroids.
It's a lot of electricity. And it's, like I said, in MMA, boxing matches, unlike anything else, it's electric. It feels like lightning and thunder. Nothing like it. Not a football game doesn't match this. And I think it'd be interesting for you to just go to one.
I don't know.
But I did go to Nick's fight in September of last year. Almost a year ago, And it's interesting because he hadn't fought in a while and was sad. He lost to
who?
His brother Nick lost to
See,
Robbie
Nick
Lawler.
lost.
But Nate's been training. He knows what he's getting into. He knows what he's up against. And even he said that, look, you're supposed to beat me, dog. You're supposed to take me out.
Oh, he will, Nate. He will take you out. But here's the question: do you think that they rig these fights, or is there any of that going on? Like in
maybe on some other promotions.
But you think this one's going to be a straight fair fight? Like no one's going to give in.
It's a fair fight, right?
Nate's going to be a cream
Nate
pie.
is a lot smaller though than Chimaev. I mean, Nate can walk around at 200 pounds, but Chimaev can walk around I think like a 220.
I thought you only fight in your weight.
Well, they cut. Nate's going to probably cut to get to 170, probably like 20 pounds. And Chimaev's going to probably cut 30, 40 pounds to get to their weight. And then once they weigh in, they can eat and hydrate and then go back in weight, which is it's so unsafe for fighters to do. It takes a toll on your body and your head as well. But that's what fighters do because they don't, the more weight you can cut, the bigger you become in that division.
Yeah, I feel like you said, Nate has had 34 fights and this other guy, Chimaev, has had 12.
33 and 12.
And so, like, I already know you're making documentaries on CTE and stuff like that. So I'm thinking also the damage that is on Nate. Not only does he have more years, he has more fights, which probably means he has more damage. And so I just don't feel like he's going to be as sharp and he's going to be as fast as this guy because he has damage that happens as you put time in.
Time and age.
Exactly.
And
so Nate is not lacking, but he's lesser than Chimaev in every area. So it's like if we just put these two on paper.
Well, no, I would disagree because his jiu-jitsu is going to be better. His boxing is going to be better. Chimaev will have better kicks, better wrestling. And so when you put these things together in the size, it's just what's going to happen when they get thrown in the cage. And that's what's so interesting about fighting is, right, you get in and there's only one referee stopping this fight. Sometimes they don't take enough time. So you can actually get, like you said, killed potentially, right, on TV. No one's died in the UFC, but people have definitely died in MMA. But it's one of those things like where you're going to war, and they both have that war mentality. Chimaev is like, this is a war. I'm not friends with him. And Nate's like, we're going to war. I'm not friends with him either. Like, I don't want to shake hands. So I don't like when they shake hands and hug.
Here's a question. Where did Nate train? In the U.S.?
Yes.
Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, and this might be stereotyping or whatever, but like in the Olympics, it tends to be other countries. There's just a different work ethic, right? And so I feel like you said this guy's from Russia. Like, I feel like other countries have a better work ethic a lot of times than the United States. And even with you dealing with Dan Henderson and teaching him, he was training with like people from out of the country, right?
Right, yeah. He went to go train in Russia.
Exactly.
But then he brought it back home too to train.
Exactly. But he knew they knew that they wanted to take them to fight against the Russians because they knew that was going to be a whole nother level than the
made
US.
him a better wrestler.
Exactly. And so part of me
Dan
is
Henderson,
like
the double champion, the first double champ, by the way.
Yeah. And so part of me is just like, this guy's from Russia. I feel like that if you weren't training in the U.S., if you grew up training somewhere else, you already have a stronger work ethic. It's sad, but that's United States. You get comfortable, and unless Nate had someone who was from another country training him, if he had someone from the U.S. training him, I just don't feel like he has a chance against this Russian guy who's almost 10 years younger than him. I'll tell you the champs
right now, right? And I'll go by country. Heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou is from France via Cameroon, so Africa. The light heavyweight champion is from Poland. The middleweight champion is from Australia via Nigeria. The 170 welterweight champion is from England.
I'm still waiting for US.
The lightweight champion is from, well, it's kind of vacant, but Brazil. Charles Oliveira. So we have welterweight, lightweight. Then we have the featherweight. 145. He's from Australia.
I'm still not hearing US.
So 135 champ Aljamain Sterling. Shout out to Aljo. American, USA. The 125 champ is from Mexico, Brazil, Mexico. There's the two champs.
So most of the champs are from out of the country.
Right. Currently they are, but at times it'll be a lot of Americans.
I know, but like I feel
right now,
like
not.
The Americans know that they need to go train.
Even in the women. the women Brazilian champion.
Yeah, but the Americans know that they need to go train out of this country because this country is too comfortable. We do everything easy. Our moms put Band-Aids on our little scrapes. And like, you need to go outside of the country to get good hardcore training. America soft, period. And so that's why I'm looking at this and I'm like, dude, this guy's from Russia. He's a killer. You're a soft American. Stockton does not compare to what this guy went through in Russia.
Nate's not.
I'm not saying he's soft, but I'm saying like what is hard in the United States doesn't even compare to what is hard in Russia, to what is hard in China.
Well, I mean, their upbringing, like, they were on the street. They were father left. I mean,
I know, but
it's killings.
The United States is so privileged. Like, it just doesn't compare.
Not everybody grew up that way. That's why in boxing,
I can just let the statistics speak for themselves. You just said that a bunch of the highest, best fighters are from different, and I'm not surprised at all. I would be very surprised if more were from the United States.
There's actually a woman in the UFC, Carla Esparza. She's American. So out of the women, there's
Carla Esparza.
Esparza. So she's from actually California. Then we have a Brazilian and Amanda Nunes. Juliana Pena was a champ, but she got beat.
And again, I would want to see, because even Dan Henderson was a champion, but he did go and train over there. So I'm not saying like there's people in the United States that take the time and say, I need to go over there, and they go and train over there. So yeah, they're from the United States, but their work ethic, their training is from out there. Or maybe they even have a trainer from Russia who's in the United States or from China or wherever who's training them. So yeah, they're from the US, but their training and their work ethic isn't. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like the United States work ethic as a whole and sports.
I would agree with the work ethic part, right? But when it gets to the top, then some Americans kind of shift their way away from the regular Americans. But now you're dealing with people from other countries where, like you said, they're training from poverty. They're training from no family members. And the poverty level of third world country is much different there than it is America. So you bring up some valid points. Saturday, we're going to see what the deal is. You take Chimaev. I'm saying anything can happen. I think Nate can win this fight. I think he could definitely.
There's no way on God's green earth.
Under God's green earth, it could 100% happen.
There's no way. Like, he needs to go box Jake Paul, who is literally. Don't get me started on Jake Paul.
And that's what's going to happen. He's going to fight. He's
exactly.
Going to box
and
Jake Paul.
Nate will do good over there, but in UFC with this killer has no chance. No chance.
We'll see how this ages next week. Stay tuned.
I'm definitely gonna watch the fight because now I'm invested. I'm invested in my killer Russian killing Nate. I'm invested in it, so I'm definitely gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it, and we're gonna see.
And if Nate pulls off the upset, then I don't want to hear you for like a week.
And when my Russian killer kills Nate, when he kills Nate, you're gonna call me queen.
He's not gonna.
You're gonna call me
Nate.
Queen for a week and bow whenever I walk in the room.
He's not gonna.
Let's practice, my queen.
She needs to train
for a
jiu-jitsu.
Week when he wins.
Pow!
I'm excited. We're gonna have to like record us watching the fight so we can like see our reaction.
We could actually do a
because I'm invested. I can be a fan. I can be a fan.
We could do a live podcast. That's what they do. They call a fight cast. Watching it and recording live.
We'll see. Let us know in the comments who you think is going to win, who you're rooting for, who you're voting for. I'd love to hear that.
Until next time.
Peace out to the haters.
Hater.